Hello, welcome back. If you're new here, I break down what's actually working in Meta Paid Social every week. No fluff, no theory, just real creative strategy backed by real data. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 10 ad hooks that are actually converting on Meta right now in 2026. We're going to cover why hooks matter more than ever, given where the algorithm is right now, the top performing formats to pair your hooks with, all 10 hook styles with real examples you can steal, a bonus stacking method that most people aren't using, and a simple testing framework so you can actually put all of this into practice, not just watch the video and do nothing with it. So by the end, you'll have a full hook playbook ready to go for your next creative brief. Let's get into it. So, the first 3 seconds of your ad determine 3 to 5 seconds. They determine whether you make money or burn it, and most brands are still getting this completely wrong in 2026, either starting ads the same way they always have or chasing hooks that stopped working 2 years ago. But here's something most people don't know. Your hook isn't just doing one job anymore. It's doing 2 jobs at a time. Job 1 is to stop the scroll and earn the watch, and you already knew that. In the second job, role or function is to signal to Meta's algorithm who this ad is for, meaning to show it in front of the proper ideal client profile. And Meta has shifted hard into broad targeting quite a long time ago. Interest targeting and lookalike audiences are no longer delivering the best results. What Meta is now using to find your customers is the metadata inside your creative. Your imagery, your text overlays, your messaging, and all of it is a targeting signal. So when you write a hook that speaks to a specific person by their identity, by their situation, their frustration, their pain points and desires, you're not just capturing attention, you're telling the algorithm exactly who to show it to. And that's why the best hooks right now are more top of funnel and identity based than ever before. So keep that in mind through everything that follows. Now, before the hooks, 30 seconds on formats because the container matters. And here's what's crushing it right now. We have AI talking heads, authoritative, fast to produce, great for education heavy products, followed by AI podcast, 2 voice conversational format or one person podcast work as well, perfect for skeptical audiences that need some education before they make the purchase. Followed by AI public speakers, TED Talk energy, works when you need to position a big idea. Followed by AI talking head in the corner while showcasing the product demo in the main screen as B-roll. And this is probably the most interesting format that's converting the most right now. You get creator authenticity and product proof in the same frame. And the benchmarks back this up. Simple, fast to produce formats are consistently outperforming high production ads. Not because quality doesn't matter, but because speed of testing is the actual advantage. And these AI formats let you produce 4 hook variations in the same time you used to take to produce 1. Now, moving on to the hooks. So, for the first hook category is the go against tradition hook. And what it is it's you basically call out a commonly held belief that your audience already has, then immediately challenge it. This creates instant pattern interruption, and the moment someone hears something that contradicts what they believe, their brain lights up. They need to find out if they've been wrong. And the key is to name the tradition specifically before you challenge it. Everyone says X only works if you do Y. It's something your audience actually believes. Vague contrarian hooks don't land. Specific ones do. And this is best for product education ads, before and after visuals, or anything moving someone from a familiar solution to something that's completely new. The second hook is a conversational hook that feels mid-conversation. Something like, no because, or wait, why is this, or okay, these are, or hold on. And these don't feel like ad openers. They feel like you're jumping into the middle of a conversation already in progress. And when that happens, people's instinct is to play catch up, which means they keep watching. And this is one of the most versatile hooks on this list. Works in B2B, D2C, beauty, health and wellness, apparel, and it's the easiest to test. Just change the opening line of any existing video and run it against the original. And the AI talking head format is actually perfect for this because the delivery needs to feel unscripted. Moving on to the third hook, which is the demographic callout hook, which is a top performer in 2026 still. And this is the #1 performing hook I'm seeing perform in 2026 again. And the reason it keeps winning is directly tied to what I said earlier about Meta using creative metadata as targeting signal. When you call out a specific demographic in your hook by age, job title, lifestyle, or identity, you're doing two things at once: stopping the right person's scroll and telling the algorithm exactly who to show this ad to. If you're over 40, or for the freelancers who, or for example, attention business owners from XYZ area, and this directly calls out the ideal client profile and puts it and helps Meta put the ad in front of them. So you don't have to limit yourself to these variables like age or job title or life stage. You can absolutely think beyond these and even think in terms of community, aspiration, health condition. And if you are not running demographic hooks right now, you are leaving money on the table. The fourth hook to test is the investment hook. This one shows the investment, time or money, the investment someone made before they found your product, the failed attempts, the other solutions, the years of frustration, and it works for two reasons. One, it targets the right people immediately. Someone who's been through 3 failed solutions will stop the scroll the moment they see their own journey being described. Two, it builds trust faster than almost any other hook. When someone sees their experience mirrored back at them, they don't need convincing. And how to find these hooks is to pull your customer reviews, look for the language around failed attempts. What did people try before you, and what did it cost them? That language is your hook. Now, moving on to the fifth hook, and it's called the scam hook. Something like, I thought this was a scam. Everyone said this was a scam. Or I almost didn't try this because I thought it was a scam. And this has become a top performer and top spender in multiple accounts. Two reasons. Loss aversion. The word scam triggers an immediate fear response that our brain needs to resolve. In a curiosity gap. I thought this was a scam. Creates unresolved tension the viewer has to close. And this is the easiest hook to test on this list. Take any top performing video, the scam hook as a new variant, and run it against the original. Low lift, high upside. The sixth hook to test is the controversy hook. Leaning into controversy, not just flipping a positive to a negative, but introducing actual debate, naming a common enemy, taking a real hot take, drives engagement regardless of whether the viewer agrees or disagrees. And engagement signals to the algorithm that this creative deserves more reach. This is strong for anything challenging a category norm. Any product that's breaking the norm, going against the status quo. Let me give you 2 tips. Name the enemy specifically. Don't be vaguely negative. And actually try using the word controversy in the hook. I've tested this repeatedly and it consistently lifts performance. The 7th hook you can test is adding a trigger word. So, for some words trigger an emotional response before conscious processing catch up. And the top performing ads I've analyzed this year are loaded with trigger words like curiosity, fear, shock, desire, or anger. For example, for curiosity, you can add the words secret, hidden, nobody talks about, or finally. For fear, you can add the words warning, avoid, danger, mistake, or scam. For shock, you can add the words exposing, banned, controversial, or they don't want you to know about this. For desire, obsessed, can't stop, changed everything, addicted. Or for anger, you can say you're tired of, sick of, done with, enough. And a practical tip to play around with is before launching any new creative, put your hooks into ChatGPT or Claude and ask it to enhance it with any emotional trigger words. This is a simple step with high upside. Now, the 8th hook you can test is the POV hook. And about 10 to 15% of the top performing creatives I've analyzed recently had POV in the hook. It started on TikTok, but it's a consistent meta performer. It's one of the classics. And the simplest version is to take a hook already working and put POV in front of it. Test it against the original, and it's more powerful when you pair it with a trigger word. For example, POV, you hate your skin. Or POV, you've been dealing with this for years. Identity framing plus an emotional trigger will give you a very strong hook. Now, moving on to the 9th hook you can test, which is the mirror their internal dialogue hook. So your customer is already asking themselves, is this for me? Will this work? Or how do I know if I need this? And this hook gives voice to exactly that internal question instead of making claims at them. So, for example, how do I know if my hormones are affecting my skin? How do I know if this supplement is actually doing anything? Or how do I know if I'm the right person for this? It reframes the ad from brand talking at viewer to brand having a conversation with viewer, particularly powerful in categories where the audience is skeptical or has been burned before. Now, the 10th hook you can test is the speed plus transformation. So speed gets attention and transformation builds trust. Use both, because people don't just want results. They want fast, visible proof that results are possible. That's why before and after has never stopped working for paid social. Because the combination of a specific time frame, for example, in 3 days, or in one application, or before Friday, or before XYZ time frame, when paired with a visible transformation, creates one of the highest trust hooks on this list. And speed creates urgency, whereas urgency earns the watch. Transformation converts attention into belief. Be specific with the time frame because specificity makes the claim feel real. And one more thing before we end the video, and this is something I've been seeing work more and more this year. Instead of one hook, stack 2 or 3 at the opening, for example like a hook reel, and the first earns the first 2 seconds, the second earns the next 2 seconds, and you're into the body of the video with the viewer already several seconds in. For example, winning combinations I've seen work really well are a demographic call-out plus a controversy, or a scam plus an investment type hook, or a POV plus a trigger word, or it can be a conversational opener with go against the tradition type of hook. In the AI, talking head format helps you pump out a ton of these effortlessly. It makes them easy to test. Just add a second hook line into the front of any existing top performer and watch whether hold rate improves. Now, how to turn this into a system rather than just a list. Every creative test should have at least 4 to 5 hook variations. For example, one product-oriented hook, one problem-oriented hook, one demographic call-out hook, and one wildcard, whichever type of hook you feel good about, and you can add an extra 5th one that is any other one of the previous types that I've mentioned. So 4 to 5 variations, same underlying creative, different emotional entry points, different funnel stages, different targeting signals, and one of these will outperform the others, and that tells you which direction to go deeper on. So, once a hook category starts consistently performing, go deeper on it. If demographic hooks are winning for your account, test 10 to 15 different demographic angles. Test different ages, identities, life stages, communities. You're not spreading anymore, you're extracting. Scatter to find the signal, and then concentrate and double down on what works to extract the value. That's your system. And to summarize, if your hook is the highest leverage, lowest cost variable in the entire ad, you can change it with a text overlay, you can regenerate it with AI, and ideally you want to regenerate it with AI with a different visual, a different avatar, something that's completely different from the previous hook visually, so that Meta considers it as a new entity ID, a new hook. And and most brands launch one hook per creative and call it a test, or at least some brands, and that's not a test, that's a guess. You need at least 4 to 5 variations minimum every launch, and that's the standard. So if you want me to personally suggest the best hook for your specific brand or product, drop it in the comments and I'll reply with my recommendations. And like and subscribe if this was useful. I break down what's actually working on Meta every week. See you in the next video. Thank you.